Well, it's 7:03. Paul, where you been? Oh, okay. Hold on here. Minutes. Okay. I'm the loser in the crowd. Okay. Ready? This is the Genoa Township Board of Zoning Appeals. It's September 24th, 2024. It is 7:03 p.m. We are at the Genoa Township Hall, 5111 South Old 3C Highway, Westerville, Ohio, 43082. We have one case tonight on the agenda, BZA case 2024-12, which is an area variance at 5157 Augusta Drive. This is the first meeting, and we also have on the agenda the 2025 meeting schedule. Staff present is Susan Dorsch and Paul Benson, and I will call the roll. Ms. Yu?
Here.
Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Hanson?
Here.
And Mr. DeRose, Mr. Christian, and Mr. Campanella are absent. Okay, let me read this statement into the record before we get going here. As is the adopted policy of the Board of Zoning Appeals, all applicants will be granted an opportunity to make their formal presentation. The audience will then be granted an opportunity to comment, followed by questions from the board. This policy was adopted by the Board of Zoning Appeals to provide for the orderly discussion of business scheduled for consideration. The chairperson may limit repetitive debate. The first item that we need to take care of is review and approval of the meeting minutes from the last meeting, which was August 27th, 2024. I will give you a moment to look those over, and then someone can make a motion to approve. Just had the one.
Move to approve as presented.
Okay, a
Second.
second by Ms. Yu. Any discussion, any items of note? All in favor of approval of the minutes from August 27th, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Hanson abstains, and the meeting minutes are approved. Okay. At this time, we will open the public hearing at 7:06 p.m. And before, as opening the public hearing, I'm going to ensure that the applicant who is present is aware that there's only 4 people on the board and that it will require 3 affirmative votes to approve the variance application. Are you comfortable with that going forward? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, I'll read the legal notice into the record. And as follows, Eleanor S. Clark requesting approval of a variance to allow for a fireplace chimney to encroach into the required 10-foot side yard setback at 5157 Augusta Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, lot 4423 in the Highland Lakes North subdivision, currently zoned planned residential, PRD. This is BZA case 2024-12. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on September 11th, 2024 in the Delaware Gazette and posted in the Genoa Township Hall on September 3rd, 2024. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to the property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject was also made. May I have those that are appearing on this case please stand and raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Be seated. All right. The following were marked as exhibits A through D: the legal notice, the sign-in sheet, the application, and the staff report. And we will begin with staff.
Thank you, Mark. So as noted in the legal notice, the address of this property is 5157 Augusta Drive. It is located in Highland Lakes North, which is a planned residential district. The plat for Highland Lakes North was platted in September 24th, 1998. On February 13th, 2001, zoning permit 20010125 was issued for the construction of the residence on the subject property. Zoning permit 20011060 was issued for the construction of a deck on November 26, 2001. No additional permits were found. On July 25th, 2024, a residential improvement application was submitted to the township for construction of an addition for a chimney on the subject property. On July 30th, 2024, staff issued a denial letter. You all have a copy of, because the proposed addition encroached into the 10-foot side yard setback, which is required in the Highland Lakes North Final Development Plan. The subsequent variance application that is before you tonight was received on August the 21st, 2024. So the variance request is to section 909.01 B, which is the section of the zoning resolution for the planned development. And in Highland Lakes North, the side setback has been set at 10 feet. And you also have a copy of that, which was listed on page 3 of the final development text. So the application does state that the variance request is from section 803, but that is not the applicable section. As I stated earlier, it's section 909.01B, which is the minimum yard setback requirement in the zoning resolution for a planned residential district. Section 2710.05 of the zoning resolution allows for the property owner to request a variance from the final development plan without filing for a final development plan amendment. Section 2710.05 of the zoning resolution reads as follows. The property owner wishing to deviate from the zoning resolution shall be permitted to apply for a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals and shall not be required to apply for a final development plan amendment, so long as the deviation only applies to said owner's private lot or building envelope, excluding lots designated for open space and no other lot, building envelope, tract, or portion thereof within the planned development. The Genoa Township zoning resolution, section 1608, is architectural projections into required yards, allows for specific items to extend into the required setback. Section 1608.03 states, no structure unless otherwise specified herein may project into the required side yards, and chimneys are not one of the items that are listed that are allowed to project into the required side yard section. If the variance request is approved, staff would suggest that the motion clearly state that the variance only applies to the addition area proposed as part of this application and no Additional encroachments are allowed unless another variance request is granted. We did send the application to police, fire, and maintenance. We received comments back from the fire marshal, and he had no comments or concerns. He was the only one that responded. The legal notice was published in the Delaware Gazette on September 11th, 2024. And we placed a notification sign on the subject property on September 13th. And today, staff is not aware that we received any inquiries about this variance application. There was one other comment, and the applicant was answering the Duncan versus Middlefield questions, the one regarding whether the variance was substantial. They said that the existing setback was already less than 10 feet. But according to the mortgage location survey that we had on file, that was back when the house was built. It's dated February 8th, 2002. It shows that the house is 12 feet from the property line. So we do believe that the current structure is compliant with the 10-foot side yard setback. That's all I have. Does that make sense?
Anybody have anything for Susan? Staff?
No.
Anything? No? Okay, let's hear from the applicant. And you can go to the table, go to the podium, whatever you're most comfortable with. Just introduce yourself and present your application.
All right. Thank you for hearing us today. My name is Cooper Rutledge with NJW Renovations Unlimited. We are a general contractor that's going to do the work here at the Clark residence. Yes, we are asking for a variance to build a chimney chase to accommodate a new wood-burning stove that will be located in the lower level of the residence. The current 12-foot side yard, we would be encroaching at this point about 2 foot with the findings from the mortgage survey. So we will be encroaching more like 2 foot than. Or 3
1 foot, because
We got, I'm sorry. So we're 3 foot before it'll be 1 foot. We'll
1
be
foot.
encroaching by 1 foot now with that
Assuming
finding.
the 12 is correct.
Assuming the 12 is
Right.
correct,
Okay.
yes.
And I assume you're the Clarks.
I'm
Yes.
Eleanor Clark.
That's fine.
I was going to let him talk first before I introduce
Mhm.
myself. And do you want to talk?
Go ahead.
Oh, and Cooper and I had talked about how the dimensions of this box. I would prefer that it doesn't stick out the full 3 feet, but Cooper informed me from a construction standpoint, he needs to plan for 3 feet. And when he opens up the ground and sees what the soil is like and does his thing with the footers, that if we can bring that back farther, I would prefer
So
that it
3 would
doesn't
be
stick.
the max, and you prefer it to be less.
Yes.
And that's fair. I'd rather have you ask for 3 than to say, oh, we only need 2, and then, oops, yeah. So that's the correct approach, in my opinion. And you're gonna put a wood-burning stove in the basement?
Correct.
Okay. Is a walkout basement just out of
Yes.
curiosity? Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
The yard slopes down, so you walk out the back.
Yeah, a lot of those do in there, I know. There's a lot of slopes there. Okay. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I guess, do you have any questions? Do you need additional information?
sometimes it's easier if we just ask
Yeah.
questions. I understand, and especially if you haven't been here before. So I guess that answers question number 1. There is not an existing chimney. What approximately, and you might be able to answer this, well, either one of you. What's the distance approximately to the next structure? Not to the property line, but to the structure? Is it, I assume there's probably 10 feet on the other side, 15, I don't know.
A little more than that.
More because
That's the
my,
driveway.
it's the driveway of my next door neighbors.
Okay.
So it's a double wide driveway
So
and then their
Probably
garage.
similar, similar to us.
'Cause
We're
I can't,
20
yeah, I can't tell
odd
from
feet.
here.
Yeah,
It
so,
looks like it's quite a bit offset, basically.
I don't recognize that.
yeah, that-
You're not on
There we go.
There it is.
So you're there,
right.
Mm-hmm.
and the structure is.
It's
kind
on
of
the
to
left-hand
one
side of what
the-
you're
of
looking
the
at.
lot.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have the same problem. Not quite to that extreme, but I have the same, I understand it. But they're all kind of built to the left on the
Yep.
property.
And
line.
their house is the same footprint as ours,
Okay.
same basic floor plan.
Let's see what it looks like on the Delaware County GIS. There you go.
There.
Oh.
Okay. Want to close that, Paul? There you go. Nice blurry picture. Oh, I see. So this is your neighbor's driveway.
That's correct.
And then you're going to be.
Right about where the cursor is.
Yeah, back up
Back
in here.
A little bit further than the cursor, yeah.
Towards the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, up a little farther.
They're there in the back. Mhm.
Just since I'm here, is it not possible to put the chimney out under the back?
Because there are windows there and you have to have the fireplace certain
Okay.
number of inches from the windows.
Okay. And then I noticed on your plan, you have an identified work area here, but you also have an identified work area here. Is that
Different part of the
same?
That's
project.
correct, yeah, and that's just replacing a concrete stoop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that really doesn't have anything to do with.
Nothing to
this.
do with zoning,
Yeah, no, eventually it's falling apart, so.
Oh. Okay. I got that. Okay, okay, I think that's all I had.
Yeah.
Paul?
On sheet 2, this one, did you have a surveyor check the property lines and the setbacks?
We did
or
not, we
just
pulled
Going
it
off
from
the
the
old
auditor's.
survey?
Yeah, we pulled it from the auditor's webpage.
Okay. And then on sheet 3, it says the flue is already there,
The wood burning stove is installed and the flue is installed, yes.
so it's now just an exposed pipe
That's
running outside
correct.
the house?
And so this is a decorative chase.
To enclose it.
And stucco, so the neighbors sitting on their deck don't see a metal pipe, aluminum pipe running up.
The only people who can really see this, given the location on the back of my house, are my next door neighbors who, and the only place they would see it is from their deck when they're outside because they don't have windows on that. Don't quote me, maybe they have one little window, but basically they have no windows on that side of their house. So the only place they're gonna see it from is their deck. And of course, it would look better for them to have it covered in stucco.
Sure.
Is that where their driveway is? I mean, they would see it on
Their
the
deck is
driveway or
behind,
no?
is behind their house, so it's, the deck is not adjacent to their driveway. No, it's, the deck is further away.
But your facade, they would see it as they pull in and out of their driveway.
Yes.
Yes,
Walk
they
in and out
would,
of the
yeah.
garage, things
Yeah.
like that, they would see it there.
Yep.
Mhm.
Have you heard from them at all?
They have no objections.
Okay.
I assume
mean,
they'd rather I
I was
cover
gonna
it.
say, have they asked you to do it?
No.
We also sent letters to all the neighbors, just explaining
Oh, well,
what
yeah,
the variance
there's-
was and, you know, what's going on.
Now,
And
did you need to go to the homeowners association for approval of this, or no?
I did,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, and they said it was
I
approved?
told them I was gonna like match the paint color and everything to the existing house.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'd like to follow up just a little bit about the
Sure.
neighbors again.
Yeah, go
Did the neighbors see the construction? I mean, they're aware of what's going on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That one of their contractors was afraid.
No,
the-
not-
Yeah, the flue wasn't, yeah, so they've seen it. The contractor was afraid we were gonna burn our house down because they hadn't completed the flue.
The flue is not complete yet.
It
So-
has not been cut through the.
Cooper
yeah.
needs to finish that.
Yeah, cut through the eaves.
It's not operational
So
yet.
it's not
Correct.
functional
It's not
the way it is.
operational right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna put it out there. Any members of the public wish to speak on this matter? Oh, I have to ask, though. Okay, hearing none, we will close public comment. And, okay. I guess I don't have anything else. It's pretty straightforward. And like I said, it's a safe enough distance from from the next structure that it wouldn't impede like fire equipment or anything like that. Okay.
I did have another question.
Sure.
Before we do close. I was probably dozing when this thing started. How did the 12 feet come into play? I'm sorry, I didn't hear how the 12 feet variance, I thought it was a 10-foot variance.
But
Yeah,
12 feet is the distance, there was confusion of what the distance of the house to the edge of the property was. I think initially we thought it was 10 feet from our house, but then the survey there says 12 feet.
I think there was maybe a discrepancy between what we had found on the auditor's webpage versus what was on the mortgage plot.
So at minimum, they need 1 feet, as much as 3 feet.
Right.
They're requesting 3, which makes sense because the property line's on an angle.
Because we don't know where the property line is and we're not surveyors. And I know the county records are always correct.
Well, they take the survey information and they superimpose it over top of the aerial, so and it's hard to measure off of that too. I mean, it's a very usable and, we use it all the time site, but the survey we had in file says that it's 12 foot off of the property line. And their application said that they were even less than the 10 foot already, which we don't believe is the case. That the house is most likely at the 12 foot
Okay.
per the survey that we have. So if they get 3 feet, they should have plenty of room there to work
Yeah,
with.
okay, yeah. We want to do it once and do it right, so.
Right, so then if we're accepting 12 feet, are we still going to do 3 feet?
That's where I'm confused.
I think we should do 3, just
I do too.
to be safe.
Yes, I agree, because if it turns out it's not 10, if it's not 12 and it's actually 10, then you're gonna need the 3 feet.
Okay, then is it a 30%?
But are they going to check
Variance?
that again? I mean, once we grant the variance, do they still need to, do they need to re-measure if we're going to say,
Probably not.
yeah, the documents, or, our record says 12?
Yeah, wouldn't come up again until they sell the house and have to have another survey done.
Well, and that's a very good point. Very good point. Here comes the surveyor in 2030. Oh, well, you needed a variance for this. So my opinion would be, what I would support is the 3 that they're asking for, regardless of whether it is 10 or 12, knowing that they may only need 1, but they may need as much as 3. That would be
Okay.
my opinion. And I'm only 1 vote, so.
Okay.
And whomever makes the motion to approve, I would definitely encourage them to include a statement regarding, and I think it's, what is it in the staff notes, number or letter E, that this is the only, that any additional encroachments, which I doubt there would be, but just in case, there would only be that. We're only approving that encroachment and not additional ones. On that side of the house, it's unlikely that you'd ever have it, but you never know. I can't predict the future very well. So that would be I would encourage whomever makes that motion to do that, so. Somebody like to go through Duncan versus Middlefield?
I'll do it.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Welcome back.
Thanks. I'll pick up the slack. The board reviewed section 307.06 of the zoning resolution reflecting Duncan v. Middlefield as it pertains to the area variance requested from section 909.01.b and the Highland Lakes North final development plan to allow for an addition to encroach into the 10-foot side setback in a planned residential zoning district as follows. The property in question would yield a reasonable return, and there can be beneficial use of the property without the variance. Right now, it's in use as a home, and the wood-burning fireplace in the basement doesn't really have an impact on its utility. The variance is substantial, in my opinion, 30%, 3 feet out of a 10-foot side setback. The essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered, and the adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance. Basing that opinion on the fact we haven't heard any public comment against this request, and this chimney would be located at the very back corner of the house and only in view of the neighbors to the west. Variance would not adversely affect the delivery of government services, and basing that opinion on the fact that none of the township service providers have voiced any objections. Property owner did purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction, and that's our consistent feeling that the zoning resolution is public record, so it's known by everyone in the township. Property owner's predicament cannot be feasibly obviated through a method other than the variance. A wood-burning fireplace does require this kind of flue, so there's no way to do a direct vent out the side of the house. It does require a full chimney. Spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed, and substantial justice would be done by granting the variance. Again, basing that on the lack of any public objection to this and the fact that this is very much out of view even from the street.
Does your home have a chimney on it now?
There is a chimney, yes.
Yeah, from a regular fireplace.
Oh,
Yes.
in the middle of the
In the middle
house,
of the
or,
house,
yeah.
yes. Yep.
Want to circle back to the 10 and 12, or did we pretty much?
I don't think we need to.
Pardon?
I don't think we need to circle back, do we?
Yeah, I'm good with just a
Are you
3-foot.
guys-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're allowed to encroach up to 3 feet into the
Yeah,
side setback.
okay, because if it's 12, then 3 feet, yeah. okay.
Yeah.
All right. If
They
you
go up
guys
to
are
3
good,
feet.
yeah.
I mean, I suppose if it's really 12 feet and they want to build a 5-foot thing around the chase, that's fine.
Be a very unusual one, but yes, I guess you could do that.
Yeah, we are trying to minimize the size of it, and
Yeah.
once we figure out what the overdig was on that house, we'll be able to really get a better feel for the total size of the
Yeah, I
of the
would suppose
chase.
the visuals would lend it to being as small as possible. but,
Correct.
I mean, okay. I think we're ready to entertain a motion to approve.
All right. I will move to incorporate Exhibits A through D, as well as the board's findings pertaining to the review of Section 307.06 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution into evidence and to approve the requested variance from Section 909.01.b of the Genoa Township zoning resolution and the Highland Lakes North Final Development Plan for BZA 2024-12, application received August 21st, 2024, to allow for an addition to encroach 3 feet into the 10-foot west side setback on property known as Lot 4423 in Highland Lakes North Subdivision, 5157 Augusta Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43082, zoned planned residential district. This motion is based on the following findings of fact pursuant to Section 307.04 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution, that such variance or modification will not be contrary to the public interest because we do not have any public objection, and this chimney will be hidden from most people's view. That owing to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the zoning resolution will result in an unnecessary hardship because it would prevent the owners from installing this wood-burning fireplace due to the walkout condition and placement of windows in that basement. That the approval of such variance or modification thereof is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution, and substantial justice shall be done thereby because this will allow them to complete the project without impacting the character of the neighborhood or surrounding properties. Approval of the subject variance is subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions. 1, all required permits, zoning or otherwise be obtained. 2, pursuant to Section 307.11 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution, the approved variance shall lapse, expire, and be null and void ab initio if required zoning permits are not obtained within 1 year of this motion of approval. 3, extensions to this variance may be requested pursuant to sections 307.11.a and b of the Genoa Township zoning resolution as may be amended. 4, the Board of Zoning Appeals does grant the Genoa Township zoning inspector authority to extend this variance at their discretion, subject to the deadlines established within section 307.11.a of the Genoa Township zoning resolution as may be amended.
Paul, there was some suggestion that the motion should also probably include the condition suggested by the staff in subparagraph E of their notes. That might be item 5, I think, that we could include at this point.
Condition 5, this variance only applies to the addition area proposed as part of this application, and no additional encroachments are allowed unless another variance is requested and granted. Thank you, Mark.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? And I will call a vote. Ms. Yu?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hanson?
Yes?
Chair votes yes. Variance is approved.
Thank you.
And we will close the meeting at 7:32. Thanks. We
I
have,
appreciate your time for the town.
Good luck.
thank you. Yeah, good luck.
I'll keep the gears turning.
Enjoy the stuff.
Okay, we have one other item on the agenda tonight. And that is review and consideration of the 2020. Here, I'm gonna hang out for a second. We're not done yet. Is consideration of the 2025 schedule, which I glanced over it briefly, and I don't see any issues with the hearing dates, unless you guys do. What are the ones that
Yeah, we're-
are highlighted? I suppose if I read it, then you would tell me.
I was looking through the
Joe's
footnotes.
notes for why the dates aren't the 4th are off to the side.
It's encouraging. I can't begin to read that.
March has moved up for spring break.
Ah,
May is moved up for Memorial Day. And then November, December is typically moved up for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. Yeah, okay,
That works out,
Are
because
you
now I
guys-
can make the March meeting.
okay.
There you go.
There you go.
I know I won't be available for the February one, but that's probably not a reason to change it.
Okay.
I may not be available either January, February, just to let you know, I don't
You
know for
guys that
sure
like
yet.
to golf in the south.
I will be in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, okay, there you go. Haven't been there in a while.
I
Okay.
always hold out for no meetings.
Yeah.
You know, those can be a
Well,
little
yeah,
busy.
a lot of times in the winter, because they want to do the work in the.
Exactly. It's not
As soon as it
unusual. You
everything
get
thaws out.
December, January, February, but,
We haven't had a lot, have we, in
No.
those months?
no, not
I
a whole
recall.
lot, but
We occasionally get
do you guys want to just go ahead and approve this?
Yeah.
Or do you
motion to
wanna-
approve it.
Okay,
Second,
I got a motion
2025
by
schedule.
Mr. Phillips to approve. Any second?
I'll second.
Mr. Hanson seconds. Then, can we just do a voice vote on this, or do we need?
Not
do I
even
need
in
a
the
roll?
script.
Okay.
There's not
All in
even a-
favor of I guess I should have looked at the script, okay. All in favor of approval of the meeting dates for 2025, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Then we are adjourned at this time at 7:35.